Hello, my name is Max, and welcome to this very special interview with Hervé from Bache-Gabrielsen. You're going to watch a very nice interview we had for our weekly Dutch whiskey podcast, where we're talking about whiskey, but also like this very special whiskey straight from the Cognac region of France. So sit back, pour yourself a nice glass of whiskey or cognac, and enjoy. I will just start with introducing you because I'm currently sitting here having a very nice chat with Hervé. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Can you introduce yourself very quickly?
I am the head of a company based in Cognac, established in 1905. I am the fourth generation of the same family because it was my great-grandfather who built the brand and started the brand. I am 45 years old, and I am based and I'm living in Cognac region. So it's in the southwest of France. It's a nice and small town in the countryside, and we have a good life there.
I can imagine, like sitting in Cognac. It must be a very nice place to work. But I want to go back to 1905, as you mentioned. The founding of the brand. As far as I can see, it was an older maison, which was founded in 1852. Is that correct?
Yeah, the fact is 1852 was the date where Dupuis House of Cognac was created by Mr. Dupuis. But Mr. Dupuis didn't have any person to follow up. To carry on the business, so he decided to sell. And then my great-grandfather, who was already there in Cognac, as he was acting as an export manager for different Cognac companies, he took this opportunity to start his own business. So he kept on the Dupuis name, but he created, besides, Bache-Gabrielsen Cognac brand.
If I would be visiting like the maison today, Is it a very modern facility, or is it still very traditionally and very classical in that sense?
We are used to say that once you have been visiting Bache-Gabrielsen facilities, you have made like a time machine. So it's we have kept it very traditional, and we like to stay like that because cognac crafting is more art than industry. So we like to stay in the tradition.
And if we go forward a few years to 1932, your grandfather René, he became the head of operation and the head of the company. For a second generation of family owner, did he have a very big impact in the company?
I think the times were tough. At the time, there was a crisis in the 30s, due to the 29th crisis in the US. Mm-hmm. I heard that he had to, for some years, to find a job outside the company because he couldn't make a living on that. Mm-hmm. But the good thing is that he made the cognac company still alive during this period and could be able to give the helm to the third generation. So I think it was a performance in the way that the economic times were very tough at the time.
And the next generation is your father, Christian.
Yep.
It was in 1968 that he became the head of the company. But I saw that your grandfather had a degree in business, and your father had also a degree in science. How did this change things up within the company? This new owner with a science background compared to a business background?
I think tradition has been dominating, so not a big change or so. But of course, my father is more a pragmatic guy compared to. So innovation was maybe not the key thing during my father's period, but he was also very good in organizing things and taking the right materials to produce in good times at a good with good margins also. So he was doing much better than my grandfather in terms of organization actually.
Okay, and in 2009 that was a very special year for you.
Yeah.
because you became the fourth generation of members to run the company. How was it to take over your father's role?
It's first a pride. It's a huge pride because you continue the story, and then second thing, you need to create your own story inside the family story. So I would say there's two challenges to continue the story of the family, but also to make your own thing and to make sure that you create your own pathway into the family tradition. So, and to be honest, it's what we like. We have two legs in the company. One is traditional, crafting the same way we craft cognac since ages, and also creating and pushing the boundaries of what is cognac or spirits.
Yeah, because there's this new innovative side and trying out new things, which I want to discuss way much more in a bit, is something which you are very fond of. You like to try new things. Is that difficult within the cognac industry?
Yeah, I mean, cognac is or can be perceived as quite traditional category in terms of spirits. If you compare it with whiskey, where you can find whiskey from every kind of countries, every kind of cask finishing, every kind of. So I would say that whiskey, gin, rum can be attractive in the way that you have the feeling that you have never finished to go into the category, never finished to explore. But actually, in cognac, you can have the same, but you need to dig a little bit more. So I would say that our philosophy, or maybe the mission of our company, would be to make sure that some customers, some people who are interested in what we do, what we craft, are exploring also into the cognac category.
Just really interested, because like the cognac industry, it was flourishing way before the whiskey industry was very big and booming. For you as a fourth generation of owner in a cognac company, coming up with new ideas must be very hard. But you created something which I have here, like the American Oak. How do you get the inspiration to do these new things?
Well, it's starting from a white sheet of paper, and sometimes also it's just open discussion with our partners, distillers, corporate, business contacts, customers, and the more you discuss with them, the more ideas can pop up from our minds. And for American Oak, we started to explore that already 12 years ago, and it was launched a few years later, and then still it is perceived as a unique innovation in the cognac category. So it means that between the time when you have the idea and the time your cognac or your spirit is a success on the market, it can take a lot of time.
If I take a look on the website, I can see that in 2015 you expanded the maison. Business must be growing, like there must be more demand for cognac now, so that you guys can expand.
Yeah.
Do you feel like cognac is getting more popular?
Yeah, it is actually. Global sales of cognac are increasing. It has been stabilizing the last months, but it has been doubling the sales since the last 20 years. So, and the plan of the big guys, because maybe you don't know, but I'm sure you know. Actually, the cognac is controlled by big corporations, and they are making 90%, 95% of the global market share. Yeah. And those companies, they have big plans for cognac. So for sure, it will be still some sales increasing. But inside the category, some cognac houses are going up, some other are going down, depending on what they do, depending on the market they are. And our strength has been actually to be very good in the Norwegian and Scandinavian market due to our heritage, because my great-grandfather was Norwegian.
Yeah.
But we have been also able to expand the sales outside Scandinavian countries. So we have been into the Baltics, we have been into Russia, we have been to Eastern Europe, China, US, Canada, blah, blah, blah. And then today we are we are in 37 countries, different countries, and also since a few months we are in the Netherlands actually.
And there's this one story which I found that there, once you expanded the maison in 2015, you also needed to build a new cellar.
Yep.
And that there was one bottle of Grand Champagne Cognac, which was sealed, like from 1905, which is sealed within the stone walls of the cellar.
Yeah.
Is this that's true?
It's a true story.
Okay.
But I won't mention where.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. No, but that was also because in 2015 was the 110 years anniversary of the brand, and we had a big celebration in Cognac with most of our Bache-Gabrielsen friends, because we have some Bache-Gabrielsen fan clubs in Norway and Sweden and some other countries, and we invited them and for the opening of the new cellars we just put this bottle into the wall. That was fun.
Really amazing. And you mentioned these friends, something which you offered these friends imaginable in 2018 was like to buy their own private cask of cognac.
Yes.
Was this the first time ever that you as a consumer could buy a cask of cognac? Was this the first time ever?
I would say that again it's an idea. We had some demand we had some requests from some customers, private customers, to buy a cognac cask, but cognac cask is approximately 350 liters, and so it's quite much liquid for one single person, even for two. And we had the idea to decrease the size of the cognac cask to make it affordable and approachable for a lot of people. So we are offering a 28 liters cask and different aging solutions. And pricing of that is now making many people interested, and those people interested are part also of the Bache-Gabrielsen community. So it's a good way for people to understand how much time it takes to age good spirits, and also they can live special occasions, special experiences like filling your own cask, bottling your own cognac, writing on your own label, and at the end of the day you have a few tens of bottles with your name on it. It's kind of fun.
Really interesting, really nice. I want to dive into the spirits more deeply with you.
Yeah.
You are a cognac maison, but you also experiment with different spirits. One of the spirits is aquavit, which is more of a Norway type spirit you mentioned. But what is aquavit? Because here in the Netherlands, I barely see it anywhere.
It's not very famous outside Scandinavian countries. That's true. Okay. But I would describe an aquavit like a Nordic gin.
Okay.
So gin is made from Geneva, but aquavit is made from two botanicals, which are mostly grown in Scandinavian countries. That's the reason. And those botanical is dill. Dill is we say aneth in French, and this dill is the compulsory mandatory botanicals in the aquavit.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And next, beside this aquavit, you also start experimenting with the whiskies.
Yes.
I got one bottle here.
Yeah, I have the same here.
The 5-year-old.
Yep.
Before we dive into what it is and how it's aged and finished and stuff like that, but where did the idea start? When did you decide, like, okay, now it's the right time to make a whiskey?
Yeah, we started actually with another whiskey before this one, which was not a French whiskey. It was a whiskey very neutral that we bought from a merchant, but we started the aging in American Oak Cognac cask. So the idea was to combine the whiskey spirits just unaged with aging in American oak cask, which has been containing some cognac. So to see the impact of cognac aging on the whiskey, and that was good. But we were still learning, and we are still learning. We are very humble when it comes to whiskey. We try to move step by step in this new world. And our second step is this French whiskey, as you said. We have been aging this whiskey that was distilled in the east of France by a brand. It's a distillery which is distilling whiskey for now 30 years, so they have the experience now.
Okay.
And we bought from them, and we have been starting the aging in cognac cask. And then we transferred the spirit in very old Pinot de Charente cask. So Pinot de Charente is a local, very local liquor wine that we make in cognac because it's a blend of young cognac and grape juice aged together in cask.
Okay.
So it's kind of sweet liquor wine, and the cask finishing of the whiskey with this very old Pinot de Charente cask was very interesting in my opinion.
Okay.
And it's a link to our region also.
Okay. If I take a look at this wine liqueur, is this comparable with something like a fortified wine?
Yeah, a little bit.
So this is when did this release? Like the 5-year-old single malt? When did it?
It was released last year in October.
Okay, so it's a very new product.
It's very new. Of course, the French market is a target market in the way that it's a French whiskey, and you have to know that there was a big craziness about Japanese whiskey in France. I guess in Netherlands also maybe. Yeah. These whiskeys have been crazy expensive now.
Yeah, same.
That's true. And but there is also a growing trade for French whiskey due to the fact that some small companies have been crafting microbreweries, and they turn sometimes their microbreweries into micro distilleries. So today there is more than 100 brands of French whiskey already.
Oh wow!
But most of them, they are only available on the French market, and it's kind of a growing category, emerging category. And we were very interested to take this strain in a way that the first aging with our neutral whiskey, which was interesting, but we found this new batch of new make with the distillery from east of France, and we said let's go with that. Yeah. So we made the aging until 5 years or so, which is a little bit different from the minimum 3 years, and we are very happy with the result actually.
Yeah, it was. We in our full episode in Dutch, we also did a quick nosing and tasting, and I was very surprised by the sheer amount of different fruits flavors we get out of it, which was very extremely different from what we were used to. And we also made a comparison during the nosing and tasting that we actually felt like the cognac, like the American Oak Cognac itself, has more this spicy notes, which we typically associate with whiskey, and that the whiskey itself has more these fruity notes, which it's almost like it's twisted around, which was very interesting. What we are wondering, like, if we noticed that in Scotland and Ireland, for example, cognac cask finished whiskies are very popular and in high demand now. But it's very difficult to get like a steady stream of cognac casks. I can imagine that it's for you guys. It's way easier to get your hands on some good cognac casks.
We have some connections.
Yes. But is it? Do you always use cognac cask for aging whiskey? Is that what you guys focusing on?
No, we don't know what will be the future, and for sure we will make new batch of this French whiskey. What we want to do is going to have a standard editions, and this recipe that you have tasted, the French whiskey BGW, it's will be as a permanent edition.
Okay.
So we will be able to make this same recipe, the same blends from year to year, from batch to batch.
Okay.
But in addition to that, we will work on different explorations. So in more limited editions, I guess, but we will work on different aging process. So to make this whiskey first member of the family to be in a kind of family.
More like the core whiskey, and then building upon it.
Exactly.
You say that it's the spirit itself is distilled in the east of France, and then transported to you guys to filled in casks.
Yep.
Does this mean that the full maturation has been done in your maison in the Cognac region?
Yes, exactly.
And how do you feel like aging a spirit in the Cognac region impacts the flavor?
The region, yes, but also the location of your cellar.
Okay.
The main difference is the humidity of the cellar.
Okay.
We have a nice river in the Cognac region called Charente.
Mm-hmm.
And if your cellar is located not far from this river, then it will be a high humidity level.
Okay.
And this humidity level will have a huge impact on your spirits.
Okay.
Then it's a balance between dry and humid cellars that you can make with your spirit aging.
Okay.
It's very important.
And the more humid the cellar is, does it age quicker, or does it give off more of one type notes, or?
Yeah, it's mostly about smoothness.
Okay. And you prefer like a more humid cellar?
Yeah, our master blender is extremely good at making smooth spirits. Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I think you mentioned it already. It's very smooth nose and smooth taste of this whiskey compared to the average category.
Yeah. Definitely. We talked about like what's inside of the bottle now for a bit, but I also want to talk very briefly about the bottle itself, because it has it looks very beautiful.
You like it? That's good.
Yeah. Nice. Is there some more inspiration behind it? Is it a design that you liked, or is there a story behind the bottle itself?
No, we wanted something which doesn't look like our cognac range, because as we are using the same brand name, we didn't want any confusion. So we wanted a very
sensual bottle.
Yeah, we wanted to break the look compared to the cognac range. So that's the reason. And also we like the blue color of this light blue and dark blue. It's a good combination of. I think this bottle stands out in the shelves actually.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. I saw on the bottle also saying that this was batch number 1 with only 3,000 bottles.
Yep.
But if I read somewhere batch 1, it implies that there is a second batch coming. You mentioned there is this new like yearly release coming.
Yep.
Do you also have like any small teasers which you can give, like something we can expect cognac wise or other spirit wise?
Yeah, I think we have been doing a lot of innovation the last year, so I'm not sure about the timing now. You have also to consider that it's a bit more difficult to launch spirits at the moment due to the fact that we have a huge problem with the supply chain. I know. I mean, this is a very internal things in a way that the consumer, they don't see what happens in the companies, and that's quite normal. But it has been a great huge problems with logistics, with the bottle supply, the cork supply, etc., etc. So I would say that our launch portfolio is a bit slowing down at the moment. But this one has been definitely the last launch of Bache-Gabrielsen, and we will do for sure some limited release, especially in vintage cognacs that we like to do.
We're very looking forward to it. If people are sitting at home and getting enthusiastic about it, how can they get in contact with you guys?
They can do. We are on the social network like Instagram, Facebook, of course, LinkedIn, and we have a website. We are Yeah, and we like to welcome people in Cognac. I know it's a long way from the Netherlands, but it's worth the trip in a way that we have a nice region. We have a lot of sun, good food, good restaurants, and for sure you will be welcome at Bache-Gabrielsen as part of the family.
No, Dill is really amazing. Looking forward to the trip. Definitely worth visiting. Thank you so much for your time. And we go back to the regular episode to compare the whiskey with the cognac some more. Hervé, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.